Hey guys, this is Robert coming with an unprompted deck list for you guys for Rocco Street Chef. I built this deck originally 1-1 counters base theme, and it kind of evolved from there, and eventually it pretty much became a high-powered meme deck. It's very political. I usually give whenever my opponents cast them from exile, if they have a creature, I like to give their creatures the 1-1 counters. In a sense, that's where the politics comes in. It's like you're doing stuff to help me by casting or playing your lands from exile or casting your spells from exile. So I'll do for you by giving you, a 1-1 counter. And sometimes it helps them get over other opponents' creatures. But it's very political. The way I built this deck now, the finalized version, is Rocco feeds the universe. I'm trying to put as many universes beyond cards in here. It's still work in progress, but this is pretty much like, as far as I know right now, it's the final product until I get more synergistic universes beyond cards. Anyway, without further ado, let's go with the deck list. So of course, Rocco, starting off strong with Rocco Street Chef. Commercial District, Surveil lands are really good. They help you. They give you information off the top of your deck, and if you don't like the card on top that's going to come up for Rocco's exile ability, you can just dump it to the graveyard. Kirkland Ironworks. This card is amazing with the food tokens, and in this deck you generate a ton of them. I've generated over 100 and something before food tokens, believe it or not, with the help of my opponents. Letting you unhingedly add mana to your mana pool is ridiculous. Obviously lands, Elvish Spirit Guide. I yet to get this one foil, but this is so you can get Rocco out faster. Possibility Storm. This is a MVP pretty much in Rocco. Pretty much any card they cast from hand is not like it doesn't resolve for the most part, unless it has like a cascade trigger or something. But yeah, so whenever any player casts a spell, it exiles the top cards of the library until they see a spell that shares the same type with the spell that they're casting, and they get to cast that. So they may cast the spell, but most people can't say no to a free spell, But the awesome part is that this casts the card from exile, and so it triggers Rocco, and then the other card that they originally casted gets shuffled with the other cards that you revealed to the bottom of the library, random order. Talisman, obviously mana. Faithless Weaver, MVP in this deck. I've been able to deal over 20 plus damage in a lot of games with this guy. He's really good. Evans' Pilgrim, obviously. Ramp. Balin is he's pretty much enough said. His effect is ridiculous. The fact that you can make mana, you can tap two foods to make mana, you can tap 3 to draw a card, you can tap 4 to pump him up. I've drawn upwards of like 9 cards in a turn with this guy. Knight of Sweet Revenge, also self-explanatory. It's a super ramp card. Make turns your food into mana dorks, and it gives you a semi-Cradle Hoof Behemoth style effect if you want to finish the game. Lion Tutor to search up your key pieces of like your mana engines, or like the cards you need to help stall, like the where was it, the one we just covered, the Possibility Storm, yeah, stuff like that. Sundown Pass, Chrome Mox, speed up Rocco. Feldon's really good. Haste hits the ground running pretty fast. He hits, you can cast one of the cards that, if he's dealt damage, you look at the top X cards of your library, you get to choose one of them and cast it till the end of the turn. It's pretty good. It has works with Rocco really well. Plains. Rosie Cotton is also pretty good. She triggers on whenever a food is made, and she also makes a food herself when she comes in. Whenever you create a token, not just any food, but a token, you can put a 1-1 counter on anything. So if you have her and Rocco on the battlefield, you're basically doubling up on 1-1 counters. Sacred Foundry. This guy has won me so many games. He's stupidly good. Sentinel Soraya Lions. She has haste as long as an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, which is easy in this deck because of the food tokens. Creature you control get +2/+2 for that turn. Battalion, whenever she attacks and at least 2 other creatures attack, she deals damage equal to the number of artifacts you control a target player. I've had 40, 50 something food tokens in one, like in a single turn, and she can literally OTK someone just by her effect alone. Birds of Paradise, more ramp, Razor vs. Thicket, Spying Statuary. This basically works a lot like Kirkland Ironworks, except that instead of sacrificing the tokens, the food tokens, you can just tap them to make your non-artifact stuff. It pays for one of it, so it's really good. Get Lost, it's really good removal. Tell Mayhem, this is basically this is a fun of, but I like this card because you can let you copy ramp spells, let you copy counter spells, and for each opponent that chooses to copy it, you get an additional copy. So like you can do some funny, crazy stuff with this. And since I'm like, all right, Rocco already kind of does some chaotic stuff with the exile shenanigans, so I was like, might as well put this card in. Lands, Penlaza. I don't really have any. I don't have a lot of dinosaurs in this deck. I think she might be the only one, honestly, but I have her in there because she triggers Rocco. She's really good. Mox Opal, Academy Manufacturer. This is another one of the MVPs of the deck. You can actually, like, every single turn, as long as he's out and Rocco's out, you could be making one of each. I've had some players help me make like 3 or 4 of each in a turn. It's ridiculous. Especially if you have like your Possibility Storm out. Arcane Signet, mana, more mana. Common Grounds, more mana. Mana Dork. Reckless Impulse. This is basically a draw card in Rocco. You exile top 2 cards of your library, and into your next turn you may play those cards. It's not really much explanation, but this card is basically, it's impulse draw, and it's really good Rocco because it basically gives you extra food tokens. And if you have like currently like Ironworks or the Statuary, it's really good. Or the Sweet Tooth, the Knight of Sweet Tooth, it basically gives you mana and draw power if you have those out. Katul, so many times I've won the game because they haven't been able to respond to me. You want these Dryad Arbor, what am I talking about? You want these Grand Abolisher style effects, and they just printed one in Tarkir, I think, another one. The one that it has a Mobilize. So I might put that one in here also. Well, Wasteland, one of Rocco's problem is that you're ramping so much you run out of cards in your hand. This basically takes advantage of the fact that you get to skip your draw step, but instead it impulse draws every turn for 2. So instead of drawing 1 a turn, it's basically you're drawing 2 a turn. So this card's ridiculous, and it triggers Rocco so many times. Rhythm of the Wild, this card's also pretty nuts. I like the fact that it gives your creatures uncounterable, and the fact that they get in Riot, sometimes that actually comes in clutch. It gives you the ability to just rebuild out of nowhere. You can start beating down pretty quickly. Uber Mask, this card is insane in Rocco. As long as it's on the field, basically any card draw turns into exile, becomes impulse draw. Each player may play cards. So basically, if a player would draw a card, that player removes that card from the game face up instead. Any player may play cards he or she owns. She removed from the game with Uber Mask this turn. So it basically gives you impulse draw. It's pretty dumb. More lands. Quintorius Con. I'm trying to get this guy foiled. This version foiled. It's hard to find. It's pretty cheap, but it's hard to find. This guy's really good. Every time you cast something from exile, he deals 2 damage to each opponent. You gain 2 life. I've won so many games just with this guy's card, like this advantage, the life advantage. You're just casting a bunch, cascading into something or exploring into something, and he himself lets you discover. That's what I meant. Sorry, not explore, discover. It's stupidly good. I've gained like upwards of like 15, 16 life, 20 life sometimes, depending on depending on how many cards you can stack up with like cascading. Verge, more land. Peregrine Took is also really good. He turns your stuff into your dead foods into card value. Sack 2 foods, draw a card. It seems kind of pricey, the price at first, but if you play this deck right, I've been able to make over like 100 food tokens in a game. With just all the manipulators, this card gets dumb really quickly. Jetmir's Garden, this card advantage, or it's mana if you need it. Clifftop Retreat, more lands. Utopia Sprawl, enough said. It's just another mana dork. Same thing with that Light Halfling. Just makes your Rocco uncounterable. Arid Mesa, Deep Known Terramancer, and EDH. I mean, a lot of people like to fetch, so he's really good. It allows you to just ramp. Counts as a clause. This card's really good because it's a fight spell that's attached with Discover. Another good thing for Rocco. Rocco loves all those kind of effects. He loves Cascade. He loves Discover. He loves Foretell. All that kind of stuff from Exile. So this works really well. And with this 1/1 counter pump, you can literally easily discover for 10 or plus with this. More lands. Ryu, this is another fun of. Like I said, this deck was named Rocco Feeds the Universes Beyond. So I just like the fact that you can give the pump with him with Rocco. You can give him a bunch of 1/1 counters, and then he himself can deal damage, and he can get rid of creatures. He's basically creature removal. More lands. The Ozlith, aka the Adamantine Bonding Tank. This is really nuts with Rocco because as you're putting the 1/1 counters all over the place, and they die, you can, or they get removed from the field, you can put them here, and then you can just give them back to another creature that comes in, or Rocco himself if you want. It's pretty nuts. Gleeful Arsonist, in my personal opinion, I think the best deck to have her in is a deck like this with 1/1 counters. I know she has Undying, and she only comes back with a 1/1 counter, but hear me out. I've been able to get over 70-something counters on her, which pretty much locks your opponent out of non-creature spells. They cast a non-creature spell, and she has that many counters. They're basically taking an OTK to the face. More ramp, Land of War Elves, lands. Rem's Resolve is basically another impulse draw. Simon Spirit Guide also to ramp out Rocco. Karametra, this is another fun one, but I really like it because as I'm casting, it helps me thin my deck pretty fast. Especially the more non-basic lands you run, you can go get your shocks, your surveil lands, your triomes. She's really good. More land, Spectral Stadium. Samwise Gamgee is really good too. I love this guy. He just gives you food advantage, and whenever they're semi-dead and you have historic cards in your graveyard, he can grab them back by sacrificing 3 of them. Really good. Surveil lands, pretty good. Bloodbraid Challenger, just like Bloodbraid Elf. I don't run Bloodbraid Elf, but I love this one because the Cascade is higher, and I like the fact that you can exile her. I mean, she has Escape, which is really good in this deck. Worldly Tutor, so you can go get your combo pieces, just more lands. War Doctor, this is another fun of I like, but this is actually really good too. As you're cascading, as you're discovering, or anytime you exile stuff off the top of your library at the end of the turn with like Rocco or like other effects, and he's on the battlefield, he sees it and he starts ramping up his time counters, and whenever he attacks, he does damage equals to the number of time counters to target. To any target. Yeah, any target. And if the creature would die while he's on the battlefield, they'll damage his way, he exiles it. But this can get out of hand pretty quickly too. Gilded Goose is really good. It uses takes advantage of those food tokens. More ramp, more lands. New Acola Vending Machine. This is a ridiculous card in this deck. It's insane in this deck. Especially, so whenever you sacrifice a food, create a tap treasure token. So with if you have this card, Academy Manufacturer, and Paragon Took, it pretty much just like circle jerks infinite. Whenever you sacrifice a food, you create a treasure, but because you create a treasure and you have Academy Manufacturer, actually no, I think you just need this one and Academy Manufacturer. Because it creates a food, it creates all 3, creating you another food. So you can keep doing it, you can just over and over. But the Paragon Took is so you can have something to use it for. So you sacrifice 3 foods, and technically it sees each one as a sacrifice. So it creates 3. So you sacrifice 3 foods, it creates 3 trapped treasure tokens, but you have the Academy Manufacturer giving you 3 more of each again. So it basically replaces the food tokens. It doesn't matter if they're tapped. But because it's a replacement effect with the Academy Manufacturer, they come in on tap, which is pretty dumb. So it's like an infinite card draw if you want. I stumbled upon this on accident, but it's an amazing card in this deck. Escape the Wilds. I'm trying to get the dog one. This card is amazing. I like the fact that it basically turns over 5 cards, possibly for Rocco, and I've been able to actually play all 5 of them. It gives you an extra land also, and I mean, there's not much to say. It's really good in Rocco. It just gives you a bunch of foods if he's on the battlefield, and if you have any of those like things that take advantage of your foods turning into mana, even better. More ramp. Boros Charm, I mean, let's face it, EDH, people are gonna see you as a threat. You want to protect your board. I know there's a lot of mass exile going on right now, but people still use board wipes, and this protects you from those board wipes. More lands. This card is really dumb with Rocco. When it comes in, it deals 5 damage to a creature or planeswalker they control. If a triggered ability of any legendary creature you control triggers, the ability triggers again. So at the end of the turn, Rocco actually exiles 2. Anytime anybody plays a card, casts a spell or plays a land from exile, Rocco gives you 2 food tokens. And that legendary creature we were talking about early on, Sarah Leon's, whenever she swings, she deals damage equal to a number of artifacts you control. That doubles up too. I've been able to kill 2 opponents in 1 turn just with this because this was in the field. Worm's Chant, good silence effect. Soul Ring, more ramp. More land. Sigarda. This card is also saving a couple of times. She gives all your other stuff hexproof, which is insane because they're trying to get rid of a combo piece. Maybe they have a real popular card trying to get rid of enchantments and artifacts is Boseiju. They can target your stuff, but if she's in the field, it's very situational. Like, let's say they have a card that only destroys artifacts or enchantments, you know, she protects them from that. Now, she can get exiled or destroyed herself, but I still love her. She's really good. She gives you protection. Dance with Calamity, a very underrated card. This card is amazing, in my personal opinion. This is like ad nauseum for this deck. Shuffle your library as many times as you choose. You may exile the top card of your library. If the total mana value of the cards exiled this way is 13 or less, you may cast any number of spells from among them without paying their mana cost. So I noticed that on average, other than like this card and a few exceptions, the highest CMC I have in this deck is like 5. So I'll keep exiling until I get maybe like to 7 CMC, and then if I hit a 5, I'll pretty much stop there. But my max, I think I've been able to hit like 7 cards with this thing. I hit like 2 zeros, like a Chromox and something else, like 1 drop, 2 drops, and a 3 drop. Like, it was insane. And a lot of those cards, they're like value engines for the deck. So this is pretty good. Soul Partition. I like this card. It's like a semi-path to exile, or in this case, Social Plowshares for almost any non-land permanent. Yeah, they can cast it for 2 more, but on top of that, you can use it as a protection spell. If they try to board wipe or something, you have nothing else, you can exile Rocco with this, and instead of having to pay the extra 2, this says an opponent, a spell cast this way for an opponent costs 2 more to cast. But if you're casting it, it's the same CMC as it originally costs. So you don't pay mana tax if you get rid of it with this and leave it exiled with this effect rather than the commander tax. So this can be used offensively and defensively, so I love this card. Wild Cantor, I love more Mana Rocks. Source to Plowshare, my all-time favorite. I love this art. More land. Stolen Strategy. This is like the Wild Wasteland, where it's like impulse drop, but instead you exile each one of your opponent's library, one of their cards, and you can cast those spells as they were mana of any color. It's really good in Rocco too. Lets you steal their stuff. Their best stuff could be your stuff. Man Tower. Wolverine, this is another fun but I just love Wolverine, especially if you have like the Adamantium tank and Rocco. You just build up a bunch of 1/1 counters, and then just out of nowhere you can cast Wolverine and just move all the counters to him, and you can essentially OTK someone with this card. Vista, I love this card. Chandra, this is the fun of. It's not very relevant in this deck, but I just love her effect, and the fact that every time you cast a instant or sorcery, you can copy it. There's so many times where I've been able to like Boros Charm and copy the effect to give my 2 things double strike, or you can just burn someone out of nowhere. And she's also really good, what's that card? Distraction for players. Players, for some reason, love to attack planeswalkers. Trumpety Carnosaur, this guy's really good. He is a lightning bolt, technically a lightning bolt from your hand by effect, or when he comes in, you can discard. I think this is the only other dinosaur I have in this deck that's relevant with Pantlaza. But it's really good in Rocco because it lets you discover. And just another land. So, yeah, that's my deck tech. It's, I don't actually know in the bracket system. I don't actually know what it is. I built this, to be honest, as a fun of deck. I know it's kind of high-powered. As far as the brackets, though, I don't know what I would evaluate as. That's for you guys to judge yourselves. But I really love this deck list, and I hope I can have given you guys some ideas. Anyway, this is Robert again. Peace out.